Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm here to discuss one important topic of plant taxonomy, that is plant classification. So in this presentation I will discuss about the plant classification and what are the bases of plant classification, and the main focus is on the natural system of classification, that is Bentham and Hooker system of classification. Before starting that, I want to discuss briefly about plant classification. So what is plant classification? It is basically science of organizing and categorizing plants based on shared characteristics. It helps us to understand relationship between different plants. Here we arrange the plants into different groups, like we have subdivisions, and is commonly spoken as classification. And then this branch of botany is also known as systematic botany. इस branch को systematic botany भी कहा जाता है. And the main aims of classification is to easily identify different plants, because we have approximately more than 3 lakh plant species which have been identified. So उनको clearly classify करने के लिए, differentiate करने के लिए plant classification बहुत important role play करता है. And there is hierarchy in plant classification, which include the highest rank, that is domain. Domain means that is a broad classification of living organism into two groups, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Then we have plant, then we have the next rank, that is called kingdom, then we have division, then subdivision, then comes class, then order, then comes family, then comes genus, species. So these are the steps which are involved in hierarchy of plant classification. Then we have to assign proper name to the plants, that is called nomenclature. So assigning names to the plant is known as nomenclature. तो ये भी बहुत ही important role play करता है. There should be a uniform system of nomenclature, that is called the binomial nomenclature. It means जो भी scientific names है, they consist of two names. Specifically जो botanical names है plants के, they consist of two names. One is the name of genus or generic epithet, the other is the specific epithet. Then advantages of this binomial nomenclature, the names are more definite and precise than ordinary names, or uniformly follow throughout the world, and being generally in Latin, and they have a universal acceptance by people of all languages, and they are usually descriptive and they are more independent. So that's why we have to do the plant classification, so that there is no confusion. So this is all about the brief description of plant classification. Let's dive in. System of classification, we have three basic system of plant classification, which are artificial system of plant classification, natural system of plant classification, and phylogenetic system of classification. So firstly, artificial system of classification, as the name indicates, this system is more or less arbitrary, as the plants are classified merely on the basis of one or more, or we can say based on few characters which do not throw any light on the affinities or relationship of the plant with one another. तो ये जो क्लासिफिकेशन है, इसमें हम एक या थोड़े से कैरेक्टर्स को स्टडी करते हैं, जिससे हमें क्लियर कोई इंडिकेशन का पता नहीं चलता है, प्लांट के रिलेशनशिप्स का पता नहीं चलता है. सो देयर इज चांसेस कि जो प्लांट इस क्लासिफिकेशन से क्लासीफाई किए गए हैं, देयर आर चांसेस ऑफ एरर्स. तो ये जो बेसिक सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन है, दिस इज कॉल्ड आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन. Like we can classify plants into three categories, that is herb, shrubs, or trees on the basis of its appearance or habit. The next comes natural system classification. So it is somewhat advanced system of classification. इसमें हम सभी तरह के characters, including the reproductive characters, anatomical characters, सभी characters को consideration में लेते हैं, and after that we will classify the plants. So the classification is more precise and accurate. तो इसके रिजल्ट से जो क्लासिफिकेशन होती है वो बहुत ही प्रिसाइज और एक्यूरेट होती है एज कम्पेयर टू आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन. बट जो नेचुरल सिस्टम है उसमें एक चीज़ मिसिंग है, दैट इज़ द इवोल्यूशनरी हिस्ट्री. सो दैट्स वाई देयर इज़ अ थर्ड we can say category of plant classification, that is called phylogenetic system of classification. इसमें भी सभी तरह के characters को consider किया जाता है while classifying a plant, including the evolutionary or phylogenetic study, that is evolutionary history of the plant and its relationship. मीन्स किस एंसेस्टर से प्लांट का ओरिजिन हुआ है, तो उस चीज़ को भी इस पर ध्यान रखा जाता है. सो दीज आर थ्री बेसिक ग्रुप्स ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन, दैट इज आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम, नेचुरल सिस्टम, एंड phylogenetic system of classification. Firstly, I will discuss about the artificial system of classification. So this classification is more or less arbitrary and based on few characters. तो इसमें हम एक या थोड़े से characters को study करते हैं while classifying a plant based on one or few easily observable characters of plants, such as we have habit of plants. Like we can classify plants on the basis of habit into three categories, that is trees, shrubs, herbs, or floral characters, particularly the number of stamens or carpels, as this was done by Linnaeus. So this was the oldest approach for classifying plants, and it was started by the foundation was started by Theophrastus and Dioscorides. They have found some plants of actual medicinal properties, तो इस पे बहुत सारा काम किया है. And after that जो reproductive character study किए गए हैं, this was done by Linnaeus. So इसके बेसिस पे हम प्लांट्स को क्लियरली डिस्क्राइब नहीं कर सकते हैं. सो आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन में लीनियस की क्लासिफिकेशन पढ़ते हैं, which was based on binomial nomenclature and based on the floral and sexual parts of the plants. So mainly जो stamen है, means reproductive part है, male reproductive part है, उसके ऊपर ही classification based. Some important artificial systems classifications are, we have different names like Theophrastus, who is considered as father of botany. He grouped plants into herbs, shrubs, trees, and described approximately 480 plants in his book Historia Plantarum. Then we have Adria Cisalpino. He described plant on the basis of superior and inferior condition of ovary and number of locules. Then he described about 1500 plants in his book, that is De Plantis, in 1583. Then we have next scientist who studied it, who gave this artificial system classification, that is Gaspard Bauhin. He was the first to use binomial system of nomenclature and described approximately 6,000 species in his book, that is Prodomus Theatri Botanici. Next was John Ford. He published his book Elements de Botanique in 1694, containing description of approximately 698 genera and 10,146 species, and he was the person who gave the concept of genus. तो genus का जो concept है वो John Ford ने दिया है. Then comes Linnaeus. He observed the sexual behavior of plants, that is mainly the number, length, union of stamens and carpels, and is known as father of taxonomy and modern botany. तो इन्हें father of taxonomy भी कहा जाता है. So Carolus Linnaeus artificial system of classification. Sexual system that is based on entirely on floral characters, especially the stamens. So जो basic foundation है इस classification की वो stamens के ऊपर है. So yeah, also gave importance to hypogyny, perigyny and epigyny, that is the position of ovary in respect to thalamus or floral parts, and used binomial nomenclature. Major drawback was important characters like we have number of cotyledons and corolla were not taken into consideration. He grouped plants into 24 classes on the basis of number, size and union of stamens. So 24 classes में उन्होंने divide किया था plant groups को. Like we have monandria, then diandria, triandria, tetrandria, pentaandria, hexandria, heptandria, octandria. Then we have this aniandria, decandria. So ये जो सारी की सारी जो classification थी, it was based on the sexual character, that is mainly based on the male reproductive organ, that is stamen. So इसका number के basis पे और इसका जो fusion है, union है, उसके basis पे, like we have this polyandria, diandria, then polyadelphia. Adelphous term is related to fusion, means having bundles of filaments or stamens. So और जो next चीज़ consider की गई, that was the position of ovary. So on the basis of these character, Linnaeus classified plants into 24 classes. Next comes the natural system of classification. So this classification of plants, which is based on maximum natural characteristics, along with reproductive characters, morphological features, and also include form, relationship, and affinities of the plants. So इसमें सभी तरह के characters को study किया जाता है, and this classification is more accurate and precise. So best known natural system of classification is Bentham and Hooker system of classification. सबसे ज़्यादा जो known classification and natural system of classification, that is Bentham and Hooker system of classification. So ये दो साइंटिस्ट हैं जिन्होंने बहुत सारे प्लांट्स को क्लासिफाई किया. This table showing the scientists which are related with this natural system of classification. So firstly, A.L.D. Jussieu. He observed number of cotyledons, then presence and absence of petals, position of petals and stamens, and published his work in the book Genera Plantarum in 1789, divided plants into 15 classes and 100 natural orders. So these were the characters which were taken into the consideration while classifying plants. Next scientist was Michael Adamson. He used tissue structures as a criteria for classification of plants. Next, A.P.D. Candolle. He observed characteristics of vascular tissues for classifying plants. And Bentham and Hooker, they took seed characteristics of the plants into consideration while classifying the plants. So I will focus on this classification, that is Bentham and Hooker system of classification. Bentham and Hooker system of classification, this was also known as natural system of classification, and was developed by British botanists in the 19th century, aimed to classify plants based on their natural relationships, and published their works in 3 volumes of Genera Plantarum in Latin during 1862 to 1883. Till date, most accepted natural system of classification, and followed by several herbaria of the world, including most of the Indian herbaria. This described about 202 families and 7,569 genera. They estimated about 97,205 species of seed-bearing plants. तो इतने सारे plants इन्होंने classify किए थे, and they divided phanerogams into 3 classes, namely Dicotyledonnae, Gymnosperm and Monocotyledonnae. तो phanerogams को इन्होंने 3 groups में divide किया था. Dicotyledonnae further divided into 3 subclasses, that is Polypetally, Gamopetally, Monoclamidae, on the basis of fusion or free forms of petals or sepals or floral parts. Then Monocotyledon into 7 series. So the outline of this classification is given as: firstly, seed plants, which are phanerogams, divided into 3 classes, that is Dicotyledonnae, Gymnosperm and Monocotyledonnae. So this Dicotyledonnae class is again divided into 3 subclasses, that is Polypetally, Gamopetally and Monoclamidae. Then this Polypetally is divided into 3 series, that is Thalamiflory, Disciflory and Calciflory, while this subclass Gamopetally, that was divided into 3 series, that is Infery, Heteromery and Bicarpellary. While this subclass 3, that is Monoclamidae, that was divided into 8 series and 36 families. And this second class, that is Gymnosperm, it was divided into 3 families, that is Nitaceae, Coniferaceae and Cycadaceae. And last class, that is Monocotyledonnae, it was divided into 7 series and 34 families. So this was the outline of natural system classification given by Bentham and Hooker. So firstly come class 1, that is Dicotyledonnae. So seeds of dicotyledonous plants contain 2 cotyledons, that is indicated by the name Dicotyledonnae. So leaves show reticulate venation. This is the feature of dicot plant. We can differentiate monocot and dicot on the basis of these features. While in monocot there is single cotyledon, roots mostly fibrous होती हैं, vascular bundles are scattered, और leaves में जो venation होती है that is parallel, और flowers होते हैं in the multiple of 3s. While in case of dicots we have 2 cotyledons and mainly there is taproot system. Vascular bundles का arrangement एक definite ring shape structure में होता है, that is ringed. Net like venation, that is reticulate venation, और जो petals होते हैं they are arranged, petal or sepal are arranged in 4 or 5 multiples. जो flowers होते हैं they are tetramerous or pentamerous, having 4 or 5 members in various floral whorls respectively. In case of dicots, it includes 3 subclasses, that is Polypetally, Gamopetally and Monoclamidae. So Polypetally means having free petals, means जिसमें petals fused नहीं होते. Gamopetally means petals are fused. So firstly, subclass 1, that is Polypetally. Plants having flowers with free petals come under this Polypetally. जिसमें फ्री पेटल्स होते हैं. The flowers are with distinct calyx and corolla. It is further divided into 3 series. 3 series हैं इसकी. There is thalamiflory, disciflory and calciflory. Series 1 is thalamiflory. It includes plants having flowers with dome or conical thalamus. जो thalamus है, that is the basic part of the flower, जिसके ऊपर floral parts होते हैं. This is also known as receptacle. इसे टोरस भी कहा जाता है. ओवरी इस केस में होती है सुपीरियर. जो थैलेमिफ्लोरी इट इंक्लूड 6 ऑर्डर्स एंड 34 फैमिलीज. इसके 6 ऑर्डर्स हैं और 34 फैमिलीज हैं. नेक्स्ट, so this structure is known as thalamus. This basal structure is known as thalamus. receptacle भी से कहा जाता है. इसके ऊपर floral parts है. This is ovary. और जब जो floral parts है they arise from the base of ovary, then we can say this condition of ovary is hypogynous and ovary is superior. And that is hypogynous. जब इसके plant parts, floral parts rim, thalamus के rim से arise होते, that is perigynous. When it arise of the ovary, then it is called as epigynous flower, and the condition of ovary is inferior, while in case of perigynous condition it is half inferior, half superior. The family Malvaceae is placed in the order Malvales. Then next series is disciflory. It includes flowers having prominent disc-shaped thalamus below the ovary. इसमें जो thalamus होता है वो होता है disc-shaped. Ovary is superior. Disciflory is divided into 4 orders and 23 families. The next is third series, that is calciflory. It includes plants having flowers with cup-shaped thalamus. इसमें जो thalamus की shape है वो है cup-shaped, और ovary is again superior, or it may sometimes it may be inferior, or it may be half superior or half inferior. Calciflory include 5 orders and 27 families. Calciflory में 5 orders हैं और 27 families. So the family Fabaceae is placed in the order Rosales. जो Fabaceae है, Leguminaceae जिसे कहा जाता था, वो place की है order Rosales. Next is subclass 2, that is called Gymnopetalae. As the name indicates, where the petals are fused. This is called Gymnopetalae. Plants having floral flowers with petals which are either partially or completely fused to one another and are placed under Gymnopetalae. Sepals and petals are distinct. Gymnopetalae is further divided into 3 series, that is infrae, heteromere and bicarpellate. First comes the series infrae. So the flowers are epigynous. It means जो floral parts हैं ovary के ऊपर से arise होते हैं, and the condition of ovary is inferior. Infrae include 3 orders and 9 families. इसमें 3 order है और 9 families हैं. The family Rubiaceae is placed in the order Rubiales and Astraceae in Astrales. Hypogynous means जब floral parts सारे के सारे arise होते हैं from the base of ovary. Hypo means lower, gynous means ovary. तो इस कंडीशन में जो ओवरी कंडीशन दैट इज सुपीरियर, while in case of perigynous condition जो फ्लोरल पार्ट्स है they arise from the rim of this hypanthium or can say this receptacle, जिसमें ओवरी कंडीशन होती है हाफ सुपीरियर और हाफ inferior. Next series is heteromere. The flowers are hypogynous. It means ovary condition होती है superior and more than 2 carpels. Heteromere include 3 orders and 12 families. इसमें 3 orders हैं और 12 families हैं. Next is series bicarpellate. Bi means 2 carpel, means carpels. So flowers are hypogynous and ovary is superior with 2 carpels only. इसमें 2 carpels होते हैं. Bicarpellate include 4 orders and 24 families. The family Solanaceae is placed in the order Polymoniales. जो family Solanaceae है उसको इस order में place किया, that is Polymoniales. Next comes subclass 3, that is Monoclamidae. Monoclamidae means having single whorl. इसमें petal और sepals differentiate नहीं होते हैं. There is only one whorl, that is staple, और इसको हम combine बोलते हैं perianth. Plants having flowers with single whorl of perianth are placed under Monoclamidae. Flowers are incomplete. The sepals and petals are not distinguished, and they are known as perianth. And the individual unit is known as staple. So tepals are present in 2 whorls. Sometimes both the whorls are absent. Monoclamidae includes 8 series and 36 families. इसमें 8 series हैं और 36 families हैं. और जो family Euphorbiaceae है that is placed in the series Unisexualis. Next comes class 2, that is Gymnosperm. It includes the plants having naked seeds. So the member of this class have naked ovule or seeds. Ovary is absent, and Gymnosperm include 3 families, that is Nitaceae, Coniferaceae, and Cycadaceae. If we classify, there's two scientists, that is Pilger and Melchiors, जिन्होंने ये क्लासिफिकेशन दी है जिम्नोस्पर्म को 3 क्लासेस में डिवाइड किया, दैट इज साइकेडोप्सिला, Coniferopsida, and Nitopsida. This is the most advanced group of gymnosperms, and it is further divided into different groups. Next comes class 3, that is monocotyledony. So इसमें आते हैं सभी plants जिसमें seeds monocotyledonous होते हैं, plants having only one cotyledons, leaves show parallel venation, flowers are trimerous having 3 members in various floral whorls. The plants have fibrous root system. रूट सिस्टम इसमें फाइबर्स होता है, और ट्राइमेरस मीन्स हैविंग मल्टीपल्स ऑफ 3, 3 मीन्स 3 पेटल्स 3 सेपल्स, और वैसे ही 3 के मल्टीपल्स में एंथर्स मीन्स स्टेमन्स और कार्पल्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं. द मोनोकोटिलेडनी हैज 7 सीरीज एंड 34 फैमिलीज. द फैमिली म्यूसेसी, जिसमें कि पैराना आता है, इज प्लेस्ड इन द सीरीज एपिगाइनी एंड एरिकेसी इन द कैल्सिनी. Again, this is the outline of classification of this Bentham and Hooker system of classification. So here, the plant kingdom is divided into 2 groups. That is Cryptogamia, having known as flowering plants. Then Phanerogams means flowering plants. We can say seed-bearing plants, not flowering plants, seed-bearing plants. So Phanerogams are divided into 3 groups. That is Dicotyledony, Gymnosperm, and Monocotyledony. So there are 3 classes. Then Dicotyledony class is divided into 3 subclasses, that is Polypetally, Gamopetally, and Monoclamidae. In Polypetally means petals are free, divided into 3 series, that is Thalamiflory, Disciflory, Calciflory. Then we have this Gamopetally. It is divided into again 3 series, that is Inferi, Heteromerae, and Bicarpellity. They are further divided into different orders and families. The next comes Monoclamidae. It is divided into again different series, like we have this Curvumbrae, then multi-ovulate Aquiticae, then next is Microembrae, then Daphnails, Achlamydospore, Unisexuals, and Ordina anomaly. So there are seven series of Monoclamidae. The next is Gymnosperm. It is divided into 3 classes that I have already discussed, that is Categorizing, Coniferopsida, and Nitopsida. Then monocotyledony, it contains plants having only 1 cotyledons and having parallel venation. So it is divided into again 7 series, which include Microspermae, Erigine. The next is Coronary, Calcini, Nudiflory, Apocaria, and Glumaceae. So these are 7 series in which this monocotyledony class is divided to 7 series, and it contains different orders and families. Again, this is again the revision of this plant kingdom divided into 2 groups, that is Cryptogamy and Phanerogams. Phanerogams into 3 classes, that is Dicotyledony, Gymnosperm, and Monocotyledons. Then Dicotyledony into 3 classes, subclasses, that is Polypetally, Gamopetally, and Monoclamidae. It is further divided into series and then orders and families. Again, monocotyledon is divided into again series and families. So I have already discussed about this outline of classification. Next comes important topic, that is merits of Bentham and Hooker system of classification. So firstly, this was the first classification which is widely accepted natural system of classification, and this system is of great practical convenience. This is the hierarchy in taxonomical classification. So firstly, it includes the highest rank, that is domain, followed by kingdom, then phylum, division. In plants we use this word division, then class, then order, family, and genus and species. So this was classification of the species are only maize. So this is classification of corn, maize. So domain is Eukarya, kingdom is Plantae, phylum is division is Magnoliophyta, flowering plants, and class is Liliopsida, order is Cyprales, family is Poaceae, that is a grass family, then genus is Zea, and species is maize. So most of the world survey of mostly Commonwealth nations follow this classification. System steps towards phylogenetic classification. First system to recognize gymnosperms as separate group. Gymnosperm को separate group इन्होंने recognize किया था. Then placing gamopately after polypately, that is again a correct sequence. The system starts from renales, which is very important. It means it is the oldest angiosperm we can say, which are now universally considered as the most primitive living angiosperms. So जो order renale है उसको primitive consider किया जाता है. Next, they believed in evolution through reduction and hence placed monocots after dicots. Even in dicots, the diclamidus, polypately and gamopately were placed before the uniciate monoclamidae. The gamopately placed after polypately is justified since union of petals is considered to be advanced feature. Again, means fusion जो है, fusion of different floral parts is considered as the advanced characters. Then creation of monoclamidae at the end of dicot is again very important feature of this classification. Then disputed families included in ordini anomaly. जो भी disputed families थी उनको इसमें रखा गया है, that is ordinate anomaly. Placing of unisexual monocot families after bisexual families, for example Palmae and Ericaceae after Liliaceae. This is again important feature of this system of classification. Next comes demerits of Bentham and Hooker system of classification. So the first important demerit of this classification is the system does not give any idea as the evolutionary history of any genus or family or order. In this system, grouping of plant is mainly based on single and artificial characters, with the result that closely allied families are placed widely apart. The group monoclamidae is entirely artificial. Then one major demerit of this classification is Gymnosperm is placed between the dicotyledons and monocotyledons, which is extremely anomalous, which is wrong, completely wrong. The system does not show any phylogenetic relationship. Phylogenetic relationships हैं वो ये show नहीं. Next, we have a family that is Compositaceae. There is highly advanced family and is placed in inferi at the beginning of gamopately. तो ये जो family है advanced है इसको inferi में रखा गया है in the beginning of gamopately. Then advanced families like we have Orchidaceae, that is Citamini. These are treated as the beginning treated in the beginning of monocots, जो कि monocots में end में आनी चाहिए थी because these are advanced families. Then Liliaceae and Amylidaceae were kept apart through they are very closely related families. The Amylidaceae is more allied to Liliaceae, but it's clubbed with Stimani series Epigyne on account of inferior gynosia. The position of series Apocarpi is unsatisfactory due to its free and superior carpels. तो जो position है Apocarpi की, that is unsatisfactory due to its free and superior carpels. So this was all about for our today's topic of plant classification. I hope you will get some idea from this presentation. If you have any questions, queries, and any suggestions, you can give it in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.